Of the nation, we are looking at the counties, but right now we do want to take a look at what is happening on the political front. And this has to do with the Mount Kenya Unity Call. We saw the Mount Kenya region seems to be divided right in the middle. There's Mount Kenya East, which has proposing Professor Kithure Kindiki as their leader, which they say will be the one they'll be, addressing some of the issues that are bedeviling the region, and say you are the person that is going to be representing us when it comes to the head of state. This is a cabinet secretary, of course, and issues to do with politics. I think we'll get into that. Let me start with you, Rachel. Mount Kenya region split. As we have one faction, that is the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, calling on the unity of our region and saying, I'm speaking for the people of Mount Kenya. But, the members of one particular faction are saying, sir, we prefer to have a different leader. So what happens here?
I think for the central region, what we've seen happen is what I would call sibling rivalry. In my opinion, we see Embu and Marians coming together, endorsing Kindiki. Remember, prior to that, they also had the former speaker. I think they also tried to endorse him as their leader. It did not work. So I think this is just trying to get a common ground for bargaining. Like, can we also form our own bloc where we also can bargain with this, as opposed to having an individual all the time deciding for us as a region. But then again, we've also had, I think that was Maua, MP or something, who was also very categorical, saying that the president needed to stop Ichung'wah from really fighting the DP, Gachagua, over these things. But largely, if you look at it politically, I think they're just trying to make their presence felt. But that we also have...
In most cases, they've always been a united front. When you speak of Mount Kenya, you speak of Mount Kenya as a whole. Right now,
so the president...
in the call of unity, in the midst where people are calling for unity, when you see such divisions, are they doing the region any good? I think
because they've been such a strong bond before, during, especially up until His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta was the president, we saw them coming together and really supporting of their own. But then when, for the president to make it to central, remember, quote unquote, he did what one would call divide and rule. That for me to get inside here, then I need to make these people have an understanding that the Kikuyu people have had leadership for a very long time. So even you can also forge someone, and that is when the speaker was actually proposed as a kingpin then, and that happened in Embu, if I remember so well. Cecil Marire is the one who hosted that meeting. So it is something that is normal in politics. There's nothing really out of place for it. But then how they utilize that opportunity for their own gain is what we are yet to see. But if they continue fighting, we are seeing now the Kikuyus fighting on their own, Ichung'wah's faction, and then there's this other people who are supporting as His Excellency, the Deputy President, and then we are seeing now the Embu and Nyeri also. So remember, these are three teams working for the very same good of the community, quote unquote. So I think it's a matter of, I want to be seen as the one who is calling shots, the one who is moving our people from point A to point B, so that I have more say in the next government. But then if they don't play it well, then they are the ones who are going to lose terribly, I can tell you.
Let me come to you. A common goal, all of you are calling for unity, the region to some extent. Why can't we just all have that one particular call and rally behind one person to be able to look at our issues? Because when you look at some of the things they're proposing, they're not that different. You're proposing to have a leader that speaks for the community, and already a leader has come out and say, I'm fighting for the interests of the people of Mount Kenya, unless he is not.
First of all, leaders must be acceptable, but this unity, we must be able to distinguish them. There is unity for voting purposes. Then there is unity for control of the people in the Lake region. Then there is unity for development. We unite so that we get development together. Those are the unities we have. But this unity of the Mount Kenya thing is actually one in which some people lose out. Okay. Because if you have a unity of a whole region, what happens to the smaller communities? For example, Mount Kenya. If you have Mount Kenya unity, and only one larger community benefits all the time. When we are having the presidency, it goes to them. When we are having big position, it goes to them. When we are having funds, it goes to them. Every community needs to have their own small unities. Then they come back, then we unite Kenya. Just like, for example, in countries. Wait a minute. Okay. Example, in countries, we have counties. These counties unite to form Kenya. But if we are being told together that, oh, we are the lake people, we are united, then the large community keeps benefiting. Every big position that comes, it's a member of the large community that benefits. Take, for example, Migori. Migori, we have Kuria in 2 constituencies, and the Luo in the remaining 4. At any given time, if voting is taken, only a Luo will become the governor. What happens in such a case? So, the Kuria needs to have their own leader. Then this leader now joins with the Luo to have a united Migori. But having one person, you will have your time to say that is not true. So this idea of Mount Kenya unity, what happens to
Are you against a region, an entire region uniting?
I'm against one leader purporting to control an entire region. Because what also happens to the people he doesn't like in those regions? They will never see leadership, because he will tell the people, this is not our person, wachana na yeye. Okay. This is not our person, and such people are not necessarily bad people. They are people probably they have had political contests with.
All right. What about
it's a juicy topic. And I wish, I don't know, there's this wish that Kenya we like a lot, we like politicking a lot. I wish we could have some period after election that we work for Kenyans. Because we finish this, we start this, we finish this, we start this. So we are just in a wild pool of politics. But that's a country we are in, and we have to do what we have to do so that we survive. On the issue of the mountain, the Murima unity, it's a bit complex. Mathematically, you will find a lot of permutations in between, because initially, you know, Kenya, by the way, is controlled by, I'll explain that, controlled by dynasties. Okay. And those dynasties, they are not more than 3 families. And they even control, the banking sector, they control the media, they control everywhere, and that is it. So sometimes one family slips and they are overtaken because the children did not pick up, but in between they'll come and pick up somewhere, but that one I'll have to explain. So the precarious situation, the precarious situation that it is in the mountain is that initially every politician came on their own to Kenya Kwanza, and all of them were coalescing through the president. Now, after the election, after we won the election, we had the deputy president, whom it was decided in a caucus. He didn't have a constituency of his own. It was decided in a caucus, but he becomes the face of the not Mount Kenya, of the deputy presidency. Okay. The problem now after that is trying now after that to build from zero and trying to be the spokesperson of the mountain. Of course, because they were in the same level, in the same equilibrium with more than 10 other politicians who felt that they could call the shots. So trying now to bring those ones on board, you will realize that everyone will want to be a kingpin. May I finish? To be a kingpin of its own. But my advice, my sincere advice to, although it is beyond my pay grade, to the deputy president, I wish he could tone down a bit, supports the president to deliver, and I can tell you, if the deputy president tones down and supports the way a deputy president is supposed to support the president, all these politics will subside. But so long as...
What's wrong with what he's doing, calling for unity?
You know, if you are a deputy president, you are a deputy president. You know, you are a vice president. Let us not have other ways of saying that there is a. I don't want to go into deeper, but you understand.
Right.
Because time will come.
Okay.
Time will come for the region to decide. But for now, we have a president. We have a president who will also be vying in 2027.
Okay.
If I were the politics of the mountain, is that for now the deputy president supports the president until he delivers the second term.
Okay.
Then this politics, we should be seeing it in 2029, thereabout.
Okay.
So we start that configuration. But the fact that as long as everyone will want to be a kingpin of a certain region, then you will have the Merus going their way there.
Okay.
May I finish? We'll have the Embus on their way. You'll have the Mremas, you have the Chania River, this other side going on their way, the other side going their way. Nyandaro, there is the diaspora.
Right.
So you will have so much configuration to the point whereby whoever started that unity of purpose will have so much difficulty in trying to unite all of them. Because, you know, in terms of kingpinship, it is the politician who creates. But if you cannot bring everybody on board and you realize that there are so much fights, then you leave it past those fights so that you stabilize and look at the bigger picture of supporting the president to deliver.
Okay.
And then those politics now will come after the second term in 2029, thereabout.
Right. I'm running out of time. I want to give each one a minute for your final remarks.
Wait, they both said, and I think.
All right. I'll take that as a final remark. So is that okay?
No. I'll give my
because I also
remark.
wanted, as you give your final
okay.
remarks, you touch on issue to do with the succession of Raila Odinga as well, you know, in the Odium party.
No, there's something that Owidi said that I think need to be corrected. Owidi has kept repeating that control of population, especially in the Nyanza region, is left for one individual. I don't think if that in entirety is correct. This one individual, His Excellency. You said it here, that if you look at, when we are giving reference to what is happening in Embu and Nyeri, that sometimes when people push for such unity, which is quote unquote really clanism politics, is for control of population and not for development. Okay. But I think it is the vice versa. You use this population to bargain for development. Okay. And that's why even my brother here, Mheshimiwa, I think you've said it nicely, that His Excellency got in, maybe did not have a constituency backing when he was appointed as the deputy president. But now he's trying to build that constituency. Whereas I agree with you in totality that it is time to work for Kenyans. But then he does not stop him from trying to build his constituency for again bargaining in 2027. Because again, it is not tied. Because again, if he doesn't have something to bring on board in 2027, you'll tell him again that it's not working for him.
You tested the waters, but if you realize the fire is too much, you retreat.
Okay. Very true, but he needs to work. He needs to work. But he's focusing more on this one.
What I want to say is that everybody who joins politics to be part of the government of the day. So if anybody wants to unite his family, his clan, his community, his region with an aim of joining the government of the day, so be it. That is what everybody wants. If anybody is preventing you from joining that government, he simply is worried about you rising up politically. But everybody wants to go. Even the people who are telling you don't get into government, if they get an opportunity to get in that government, they will come there running. Actually, what we are seeing today is the impatience. You know, when the last election we went to, there was a collision of like minds in UDA. But it looks like some people have become too impatient to let the president peacefully take his 5 years and then go for a second time if people so decide. They are too impatient. They would rather have him interrupted.
But to be fair to the deputy president, even the current president, took, when he got into power, took very early when it comes to campaigning, to the chagrin of the head of state then.
Actually, he did that in the second term. He did not do it in the first term. I think we need to, let me tell you something about impatience. Let me tell you what impatience does. In 1963.
I'm out of time.
You're out of time?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let us not be impatient. Let us be patient with the person to take, you know, it's like you are giving an exam for 5 hours. In 2 hours, somebody wants to say you have failed. I think that is being dishonest.
Okay. Yeah. All right, your final, I didn't give an opportunity to give your final remarks. Yeah.
I think in sum total, what I was saying is that I wanted to cover something that is that's a bit controversial. Is that the way I've observed Kenya as a country? Kenya is controlled by some dynasties, around 3 families, which you know.
No, I don't. I honestly don't know which families.
If you want me to mention them, we have the Odingas, we have the Kenyatas, and we have the Mois. It's only that within the Mois one, the children went to sleep, and that's why the presidency was able to come from outside the dynasty. And when you come outside those dynastical families, they make your life so hard, you won't even breathe, because they don't believe that a family that was not known somewhere there can rise to become the presidency. Okay. And that is what the problems we are currently facing. Okay. And this dynastical structure they control the media. That's why you see in the main media, when the government is finding so hard to sell their message, everything is being negated. Okay. Some people can even go to Limuru 3 and decide that this government should actually not finish even 5 years. They even to stomach alone finishing 5 years is a big issue. So what we want to tell these dynasties is that Kenya is not a kingpinship. Let Kenyans decide their leader. Right. Even if you didn't have a name, of course you have a name that you are given by your mother, and you are baptized, and you are given another one. So every Kenyan who has a name, let that be given room to govern. And I believe that these dynasties who are fighting the current president and the current government should relax and know that...
I think we did away with the dynasty once we elected a
No, but they are not sleeping. You'll realize even this changes problem, it goes
Were they meant to sleep?
It goes to dynasty. Yeah, yeah, of course. Let them relax, and their time will come.
Rachel, your final remarks. I'm totally out of time. 30 seconds.
Thank you. You mentioned something about ODM, and I just want to say I don't think if there is any vacuum as such, because there are structures within that political party. And remember, ODM is one of the largest democratic parties we have. So it's a wait and see. We have very energetic, able, charismatic young leaders who would infuse fresh blood into the party. So I think we shouldn't
if you're told to propose between Orengo, Sifuna, Wanga, Babu Owino, which one are you? Because these are some of the figures that have been floated as the likely people that are, want to take over Raila Odinga.
We look at so many things before we say that. So maybe there will be need for us to look at the structure of governance within the party, and that would also help us get good leadership. So as at now, I think it would be so premature to say who would lead, but if the structure could be altered, the suggestions that we've given, then maybe we would want to have someone who will bring the Gen Zs also into the picture. So there's a lot of things that will play out.
Into the picture.
Yeah, so it's a good wait and see time.
All right, thank you so much for that. Totally out of time. I really do appreciate your time that you could make it for this conversation. Of course, Rachel Omolo, who is a governance expert, and Owidi here, who is a political analyst, and of course, member of parliament. So thank you so much for making time for this conversation this morning. Really do appreciate it. All right, that wraps it for us here on New Dawn. Do have yourselves a lovely morning.
Bludgy. K24 TV Mix Master.
Leoni finish to
like a boss.
Yo, when it comes to playing the best music videos, we've got you covered.
Dom me tender.
Check this out. Caribbean. Afrobeat.
Now which kind life way I never see.
Our famous and infamous Can jams.
Tena we mapewa Goda, Goda, tena strictly mkwela atatenda.
And all the hits from across the globe.
That's just how we roll.
This is the Beatbox. Monday to Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. only on K24.
Catch every thrilling moment of the English Premier League. The German FA Cup.
Harry Kane scores! How many times have you had that?
La Liga. Serie A.
Marcus Thuram! What a start to life in the Milan derby!
And all Manchester City games.
He goes and Stones and Haaland!
Live on K24. This season, K24 is your playground for champions. Don't miss out. Tune in and watch the best football from around the world on Maskani ya Machampe live on K24. Game ni 90, lakini ball ni 24/7 hapa K24. When it's a Saturday, there's only one entertainment show in East and Central Africa.